up with it, YouTube? It's Real Boss TV 815. Man, oh man, oh man. Yes, sir. What's up with it, Amy Lemon? Sharon Johnson? What's going on? Cool Gamer, what's up, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's up, Angie Peasy? What's going down? Hold up. Yeah, I ain't gonna be in here all day either. We're gonna talk about this thing that's going on when your thugs messed up how they doing them, man, for real. They really out for them.
Worry about theft of your mail and packages? Wouldn't it be great if you can manage and
Yeah, man. So you know they really out for Young Thug right now, man. And I really don't know what to say, but we're gonna get into it, man. It's a lot of stuff going on, and it just ain't making no sense. But let me see if a few people can get up in here before I get on with this, man. Because I'm gonna make this fast, sweet, straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do no 12-hour live like last time, man. But yeah, let me give me a second, man. Let me get a few more people in here, man. Y'all just be patient, man. Let me get a few more people in here, and then we just gonna get straight to it. You know, we gonna get straight to it. So y'all just be patient, and we got this. We got this, man. Shout out to Angie Beezy, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, though. Shout out to everybody. What's up, Isabel? Angie Beezy. I was gonna ask you for your cash app, Angie. I need to drop you something, man. For real. All right, man. DJ D-Rex, just go ahead and cut the beat. Cut the beat. All right. So this live, you know what I'm saying? This live ain't gonna be real long and nothing like that. But we just gonna get into it because I found it interesting. To me, it's real interesting because the way they doing Young Thug, man, they really pressing him, man, and they trying to make it to where all the other like YSL members don't got no choice but to take a plea deal. Well, I'm gonna let y'all see all that. So they tried to get his brother to take the stand, and his brother, he basically said he got his like, man, I can't do it. I plead the fifth. It's like he had to take a deal so he don't have to stand on that stage and like, uh, man, it's like either way it goes, it would have been messed up for him. If he would have got out there and lied, they would have stuck it to him. He went up there and basically played the fifth, and then he had to take a. I don't know. We gonna look into it, but they were saying that was hard for him because they try to use his brother against him. So that's messed up, man. But yeah, I don't know how this stuff gonna look for Young Thug, man. It's looking crazy right now. It's just looking real crazy. But we gonna go ahead and get into it. We gonna go ahead and get into it, man. All right, so let's just get it.
Young Thug's own brother pleaded guilty. Joe Hankey has been following this case and has a look at who has cut deals with prosecutors so far.
Jeff Quantavious Greer entered his guilty plea today ahead of a trial for a case that is scheduled to go to trial next month. Greer avoided prison by taking a deal, but he cannot have any contact now with Jeffrey Williams, his brother, better known as Young Thug.
The Fifth Amendment says I am not going to testify because I refuse to incriminate myself. You can do that.
Daryl Cohen is a prosecutor turned defense attorney.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's king slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime because it's not traceable. It's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have...
Hey, they just hipped y'all to some game, though, right there. The FaceTime, they say it's not trackable. It's not traceable. Hey,
proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment. Some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he them and family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
The case against Young Thug is one of the bigger deals going on in the world of rap right now, mainly because he, fellow rapper Gunna, and multiple members of the group known as YSL were arrested in a RICO case earlier this year. The charges put against them were not insignificant, and many felt that they likely would be locked away for a long time. Then things started getting interesting when some of the people arrested in the case were getting deals to basically walk scot-free away from the case. So would Young Thug get the same treatment? It would appear as not. We'll break it down for you. But before we do that, go ahead and do us a favor by leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video. The brother. Let's start with one of the newer elements in this story, as another defendant named in the sweeping gang indictment against Young Slime Life has negotiated the plea deal. The big part? He's the brother of rapper Young Thug, whose prosecutor says organized the gang. When your own brother is getting out with a plea deal, that spells a problem. Fulton County court records show that Quantavious Greer pleaded guilty to 1 count of violating RICO Act and 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. Greer, whose rapper name is Unfunk, accepted a 12-year sentence with 2 years commuted to time served and 10 years probation. There are conditions that Greer must meet as part of his probation. He must not have any contact with his brother Young Thug and other defendants until the case is over. Greer must also perform 750 hours of community service, abide by a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, and cannot own a firearm. If he's called by any party, the deal states that Greer must testify, but also has his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Greer is one of 5 defendants who have accepted some kind of plea deal in the YSL gang indictment case. Winnie Lee, aka Slime Life Shoddy, Martinez Arnold, aka Duke, and Walter Murphy also took deals. That brings the number of defendants down to 23 ahead of the January trial date. Now, some of you might be wondering, why does this matter? Well, it's starting to show the scope behind the case. When it comes to RICO cases, part of the quote plan, if you will, is to nab up as many criminals as possible in one shot and then try them as a group. You won't be able to get them all, but with enough pressure and the proper evidence, you can get them to take deals or to turn on their crews. That can lead to a lot of things going the prosecution's way. So if there were 28 people arrested and now there's only 23, then the method is starting to work. And it also starts to look bad for Young Thug, especially since one of the people who took the plea deal was Gunna. Gunna was one of the 2 biggest names in the RICO case when it got made back in early 2022. He was labeled one of the co-founders of the group and one of the men responsible for getting some of the members out of jams when they got arrested. However, despite being denied bail earlier in the year, Gunna got a plea deal that basically gave him everything he could have wanted outside of him having to plead guilty to one of the charges. Per the terms of the plea, the rapper was sentenced to 5 years with 1 served in prison, though that 1 year was commuted to time served. The other 4 years were suspended, and Gunna's sentence will be terminated after he completes 500 hours of community service. So all in all, he kind of got off light given the circumstances he was arrested under. He could have easily served many years of that sentence, and yet he didn't. But that leaves the question.
Hey, so y'all see how they gave him such a player deal. They're trying to give everybody that was around or anything such a player deal that they ain't got no choice but to take a plea deal. Like, that's a player deal that they just gave him. Like, how's that? 500 hours? Man, a community
Of will he snitch against his crew and against Young Thug? The answer at present is no, and he made that clear in a statement he gave after the deal was made. He tried to distance himself from what the prosecution claims YSL was, and how he's not going to testify against his crew or cooperate to bring them down in any way. My focus of YSL was entertainment, rap artists who wrote and performed music that exaggerated and glorified urban life.
See, that's why I was trying to explain the last time I was talking about this case. Just because you take a plea deal does not mean you have to snitch or testify. That means that you just take responsibility for whatever you did. If they say we got you on camera robbing Walmart or something like that, then you just took responsibility. You're not saying, hey, this and that. You're not. They just told you right there. He wrote in his statement he is not going to do none of that. But that's why they're trying to give everybody these good deals so they can try to backdoor them and try to make them come back and say something. You
In the
know
black
how the law
community.
gets.
He
They
said
gonna
in
be-
his
they
statement,
gonna be
while
on
I've
you.
agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. Gonna continue. I've chosen to end my own RICO case with an Alford plea and end my personal ordeal by publicly acknowledging my association with YSL. An Alford plea in my case is the entry of a guilty plea to the one charge against me, which is in my best interest, while at the same time maintaining my innocence toward the same charge. The rapper concluded his statement by saying he loves and cherishes his association with YSL Music, and always will, and plans to give back to the community and educate young men and women that gangs and violence only lead to destruction. An interesting thing to say there at the end, given what YSL was accused of in terms of, well, being a gang. But you could also argue, what else was he supposed to say? Also, while he can attempt to maintain his innocence via the Alford plea, it's still a guilty charge on his record, and he has to do those community service hours, or else he's going to have even bigger problems, which is something that Young Thug is having to deal with because of a rather big scene happening in court recently. The baby mama pleas. You see, one of the co-defendants for Young Thug had a very personal moment put out for all to hear in court. Specifically, the defendant had a chat with a woman who was the mother of his child. She minced no words about what he needed to do to get out of the situation he was in. By her own words, which were again played aloud before the court, she asked him to start snitching so that he could get a deal and come home to her and their child. Given that this woman likely knows the code of the streets, you know how big a deal that is. She doesn't care about her partner's street cred or who he's protecting by staying silent. She wants one thing from him, to be a father to their child, and he can't do that from prison. While we don't know if he's going to start snitching, it's something that Young Thug needs to consider, because if even one person starts snitching on him and saying that he was the mastermind behind various things, he will be in a world of trouble. Unless you're thinking, oh, but Young Thug can get a plea deal too, right? Well, no. The target. Here's the thing. When it comes to court cases, especially ones involving groups of criminals, there are big fish and little fish. With the YSL RICO case, there are plenty of little fish, like some of the co-defendants who have gotten out of the case with time served and community service attached to them. But for Young Thug, he's the big fish. Some people only have been stating that it's good that Young Thug hasn't taken a plea deal, but you can only take a deal if it's on the table for you. For Young Thug, it's not. That comes from a source close to the case who stated that the district attorney's office isn't going to offer a deal that doesn't leave him in prison forever. That's what we call harsh words, and it should show you just how important they considered Young Thug in this case. The source also said everyone else is optional, and that means that more plea deals could be coming for everyone but Young Thug. Yeah, that's not a good thing for him, because if everyone pleas out except for him, he could be facing a bulk of the RICO charges, and one of his former crew might take the stand against him to literally speak the nails into his coffin. But why is it that Young Thug is such a big fish in this RICO case? Well, part of it has to deal with the accusations against him and the YSL. Accusations and crimes. Want to know the easiest way to get in the crosshairs of the district attorney's office? Do something really bad, and then try to get away with it. For Young Thug, part of that deal was getting the YSL going, and apparently creating a gang that did all sorts of criminal activity that apparently included murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and armed robbery. None of that is good, but you could also argue that some of those crimes weren't done specifically by Young Thug. So doesn't that make him innocent? Not exactly. Because while someone else might have pulled the trigger, metaphorically speaking, it could have been Young Thug who pointed the gun. For example, when the RICO news came out, Twitter was alight with details about what may or may not have happened. Young Thug is accused of ordering a second attempt to kill YFN Lucci while he's in jail. Authorities wiretapped Thug's phone and have evidence of him hiring an inmate to kill Lucci while in custody. And if you recall, Lucci was stabbed while on a jail call 3 weeks ago by Thug Homie. He's also accused of renting a 2014 Infiniti Q50 sedan from Hertz, which was used in the commission of the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., a rival gang member. So that doesn't look good, now does it? If they have evidence to tie him to a death or a hit that instantly trumps much of the other charges put against YSL, when you add that to how he might have created a gang that did other criminal activity, that makes him immediately responsible for their behavior. After all, they technically wouldn't have been in that position without him bringing them into the group, right? And that brings us back to the plea deals. They wouldn't have offered light sentences to people that they know they could have locked behind bars. But if you were to get a big fish and be able to prove he's guilty of sin, that's another matter entirely. Making a statement. When all of this started, the DA behind the RICO case noted how they were going to use this kind of case to clean up the gangs in the area. They even said that the vast majority of crimes in the area were rooted to gang activity. The reason they're likely going so hard against Young Thug is because they want to make a statement and prove a point. If you try and start gang activity, you will be caught and put behind bars. And if the statement from before proves accurate, Young Thug will soon be convicted, put in jail, and likely never see the light of day again. And there you go, everyone. A look at what's happening in the case with Young Thug and why things might be shifting into a direction that many wouldn't expect. Do you think that there's going to be a lot of problems for Young Thug going forward? What do you think will happen with him if all of his co-defendants get on the stand to testify against him? Let us know what you think.
Now, I just wanted to show y'all that because you see how they trying to do him, and they're trying to say that somebody handed him some stuff in jail, like in court and stuff. They trying to just put so much on him, but the main thing that made me want to do this is because they tried to get his brother, his brother to testify. His brother, his brother said no, he pleaded the fifth, and they still gave him a plea deal. So that's the weird thing about it is why are they letting everybody else out but Young Thug? Like if he plead the fifth, he still got a plea deal. Young Thug is the only one that don't got no plea deal. It ain't making no sense to me. I'm trying to figure out. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I guess it's like the only person they want is Young Thug for some reason. That's the only person they really want out of all this. They fine with giving everybody. See, everybody else still gonna have a charge on their record. They still gonna have a felon on their record. They just ain't gonna have to do no time. So to me, that lets me know that it's more of a bogus case. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a bogus case because if it's such an infamous RICO case, what's the good thing about letting everybody else loose? Are they trying to let everybody loose so they can monitor them and let them on the streets and get to talking and get more evidence against Young Thug? I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what I don't know what to think about this right now. It look like Young Thug, man. And the thing about it is he don't got no plea deal. He gotta take it to trial. So man, that's messed up, man. The way they do Young Thug is messed up, man. I don't want to say that YSL is over, but the way they doing him, I ain't never seen no options like that. No, you know what I'm saying? He no plea deal for everybody else that's involved. All they want is him. And everybody else is free to run the streets. They probably just letting them run the streets because they know they're gonna get on phones and stuff, but still it's something deeper. It's something deeper to this. It's another. It gotta be a deeper reason why they want Young Thug that bad, man. It gotta be something deeper. For them to want him that bad, I ain't never seen nothing like this. It's like 41 people, and they giving all of them pleas and say he can't get no plea deal. Look, that's just crazy. He probably might have went for a plea deal if he could have. He don't have it on the table. He got to take it to trial. And when you take it to trial, man, that's the most man. When you take it to trial, that's when they're gonna try to give you the maximum. They're gonna try to give that boy the maximum time. And then everybody mad at Gunner because he took a plea deal. But when you look at it, you see it's like they don't really got no they don't really got no options. If they don't take a plea deal, you know, they pretty much gonna get the same time, and then they're gonna try to make them testify against each other and break down in court, and all of them gonna have to plead the fifth. And then when they plead the fifth, that's when they're gonna get that maximum. They're gonna try to get them boys a lot of time, man. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see what Isabel said. In my town, the mayor was indicted. Dang, they did the mayor like that? Dang. Well, where you at, Isabel? I don't know. All I can say is, man, shout out to Young Thug. Hopefully, they find a flaw in this case, and they just got dismissed it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, something like that happened because right now it ain't looking too good, man. Right now, it's just not looking good for Young Thug, and I just don't understand why they after him like that. I know and then that so the case I guess is the full case is finna start soon, but I don't know if they're gonna be streaming it live. If anybody that follow me or got me on Instagram, you know it's a Real Boss TV 815. If y'all know if they're gonna be streaming it, because I want to catch the whole case and see what happens. Then definitely let me know because they 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 got a lot of they got a lot of people that's supposed to be taking the stand against Young Thug, which is messed up because this is what happens, man. When you see he was out there letting everybody eat and everything, but then when stuff hit the fans, they can't eat no more with him anyway. So they got a lot of people taking the stand for him right now, man. And it's finna be a wild trial. I can tell you that. They finna tell you a lot of things that we didn't even know. It's gonna be real interesting, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all go ahead, like and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this case, man. I don't know what's going on. At first, in the beginning, I tried to have a little faith, thinking maybe but now that I'm seeing everybody's taking these plea deals, some people ain't though. Some people riding it out, but man, they tried to get his brother to testify. His brother said he pleaded the fifth, and they still gave him a plea deal. I'm trying to figure out what was the point of that? Why they give him a plea deal? If he pleaded the fifth, say he ain't gonna get on here, he ain't gonna testify, he ain't gonna make no statements that's gonna incriminate himself, but he just gonna take whatever. They let you know that they don't have nothing on these dudes, but whatever they got on Young Thug, they ain't putting it all out there yet. You know what I'm saying? They just ain't putting it all out there. But yeah, man, y'all already see what's going on, man. I'm gonna try to keep up with this case too. But shout out to everybody that was out here, showing love today. I told you I was gonna do a small little live, nothing major. Just trying to get back to doing some lives because I ain't been doing that many lives. But yeah. It's the Real Boss TV 815, man. Shout out to everybody that's in here. We gonna turn up. I got some good stuff coming for y'all, man. Just today, I really can't get down like I want to, but I just wanted to put this part out here. But yeah, we got some stuff coming. So y'all just stay tuned and keep the notification bells on because y'all already know how I'm coming. I'm out of here.